Is OpenAI It's not been a good 2 weeks between the AI talent wars heating up and people leaving for Meta and news that the Windsurf acquisition fell through today, which was supposed to be a $3 billion acquisition of Windsurf, which is an IDE tool, and here's everything you need to know about what happened. The CEO of Windsurf, Varun Mohan, and the co-founder Douglas Chen have announced that they're joining Gemini AI and working on agentic coding at Google. There's other top employees going with them as well. Google's not taking any stake in Windsurf, but they are going to have a non-exclusive license to the technology. If you're thinking this sounds familiar, they basically did the same thing with Character AI, where they got the co-founders in-house at Google and they took a non-exclusive right to the technology, but the company basically died after it. It's also somewhat similar to what's happening right now with Scale and Meta, where you're seeing this trend of founders of really big AI startups go to work at big tech companies in the AI division. Unfortunately, this almost always guts the startup. We're seeing a huge brain drain of technical talent at Windsurf, basically all to Google. On X, the new interim CEO, Jeff Wang, says the decision was made because it's equally important to focus on the model layer, which is what Google's doing, and the enterprise application layer, which is what Windsurf is doing. But obviously the real reason is deeper than that. People are saying it might have to do with Microsoft's access to OpenAI's intellectual property and therefore Windsurf. We actually talked about this on the pod when the acquisition was first leaked.
And then the other side of it is whether they bought it for the data, which is kind of what everyone's been talking about, and that you have all of this human feedback that you're getting because you're looking at who's accepting your code. And so that's where people think OpenAI is like really looking to extract value.
Yeah. And then the other part of this is that OpenAI can gain feedback on not only their own models, but other models as well, which I think is huge because they're lagging in coding support in general. Like Gemini 2.5 and Claude Sonnet 3.7 are way better than OpenAI's best model at coding.
Yeah.
Is Windsurf receiving the data in like a hashed or encrypted form?
Yeah. So what the CEO specifically said, which his name is Varun, is that enterprise code isn't used directly. They can use aggregate patterns from user interactions, and that can inform model improvements. Then there was a bunch of Reddit forums that say they like obfuscate. How do you say that word?
They use like simulated data that represents the real data.
I think it's like something as simple as like changing variable names. Like, okay, when you're in Berkeley and you're trying to change your code to like pass the cheater check, it's like
All you have to do is change the variable name.
yeah. Are you allowed to obfuscate enterprise data to turn it into a training data set and then use that towards your models? I'm not really sure, and this is a gray area that I couldn't really answer for myself.
It's not entirely clear what the data sharing relationship was going to be between enterprises, Windsurf, OpenAI, and Microsoft. This is all further complicated by the fact that Microsoft actually has a competitor to Windsurf, which is GitHub's Copilot. Anyways, this is all a huge turn of events because when the deal was originally announced between OpenAI and Windsurf, it was thought that Google would try to acquire Cursor, which is the industry leader in the IDE tool space. Cursor is valued at $9 billion. They're growing quickly, and my guess is they don't want to be bought. Anyways, I wonder if this all means Anthropic will give Windsurf their cloud access back, but probably not. As we talked about in our podcast episode, OpenAI needs to improve their coding tools, and they need access to data in order to do this, so it'll be interesting to see what their next move is.